Special Investigating Unit going to continue to go after officials who are being investigated, but here's the important part. They're being investigated even after they have resigned. It says, among other things, it'll freeze pensions even as well of those who've left while facing disciplinary action. SIU spokesperson Kaizer Kganyago joining us to unpack this a little bit more. It's a lot of admin to go through. Some people would think it's just easier. If someone's resigned, leave them alone, Kaizer, but you're having none of it. So why are you going after it with such vigour? Tell us why you're doing it.
Good morning, Gareth, and good morning to your viewers. We're going after the people even when they have resigned because one of the greatest part of our mandate is to recover the money. Therefore, in most cases, these people then leave their organization because they see that we have found what they have done and they want to quickly get out of the system, cash their pensions, and go and live happily ever after, because they know that they would not be disciplined because there are no more officials in the department. But that doesn't negate the fact that we still need the money that they would have embezzled, and therefore we go after their pension, freeze them, and once we are done with the investigation and there is a need for us to recover, we take the money from your pension.
And so just because you've left, it doesn't mean you're necessarily gone, Kaizer, as well. I know you can't give me details of cases. You know I'm going to try my luck, though, in a moment. But maybe you can tell me how many of these retired cases, let's call them retired cases, is the SIU looking into at the moment?
No, I don't have the figure now, but I can give you an example. We issued a statement yesterday where there is an official in the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. His name is Mr. Clive Charlton. He was supposed to be overseeing, he was an inspector, chief inspector in the DPWI, and there was a contract by a company called NECS Electrical Consulting, where they were doing work, but then they falsified their invoices and they made sure that the department loses about 510,000 rand. But it was purely because this particular individual who was supposed to be an inspector did not do the work that he was supposed to do in terms of checking those invoices and making sure that they are correct. And when he realized that we were closed, he then resigned from the department. I think he resigned in September last year, and wanted to cash his pensions. And we quickly moved in, and we've now gone to court and preserved this 510,000 rand while we are finalizing this investigation. If we find that he is liable for that, we are going to take that money back into the Department of Public Works.
And this is exactly what South Africans have been calling for so long, haven't they? Organisations and agencies like the SIU not forgetting what people have done even after they've left as well. So what does it look like when someone has retired? What are you able to do? What are your powers, apart from being able to investigate them? Is there court processes involved to have pensions frozen, to have money returned? What's the power of the SIU in a case like this?
Yes, we follow the laws of this country, and we then have to take the matter before a judge. And in this particular instance, for example, we took it to the special tribunal, and then we've got to convince the judge that there's prima facie evidence that this person has done wrong, and we have got reason to freeze the account, and we then get the order from the judge to say, we freeze this account up until this matter is finalized. And then we then go to the next step of taking the matter back to the tribunal, where we then set aside a contract if it was done in an unlawful manner, and then recover the money.
Kaizer, last question to you very briefly, if you don't mind. Who's your big fish? Or you're sitting with the SIU rod in the river of corruption. Who's Kaizer trying to catch this morning?
We are not having anyone as a big fish. Like I've always said, Gareth, to you, we do not follow up people. We investigate processes and we find people in there. We don't know who we are going to find in the next investigation, but we'll find somebody in the investigation and then deal with them at that point.
Keep throwing the rod in. You never know what you're going to catch on the end of the lure as well. I appreciate your time. SIU spokesperson Kaizer Kganyago joining us here on the South African Morning Timber.